Today in our 2014 Subaru XV Crosstrek, we're going to be test fitting the RockyMounts MonoRail Solo 1-bike platform rack for 1 1/4 and 2-inch hitches, part number RKY10007. We already have our bike installed on here, so let's take a closer look and show off some of the features. One of the best features about this bike rack is the fact that it can fit a wide variety of bikes, especially fat bikes like you see here. And it does come with the extra strap so you can attach it to the rear mounting point. Also, unlike most of the other single bike racks out there, this can tilt away from the vehicle with the bike attached to get rear hatch access. The others either just fold up or are stationary. So you come to the front here to this blue handle, pull out slightly, let it come down. And now we have full hatch access to get what we need, and more than enough space in between the bike rack and the bumper itself to do so. To put it back in position, you push up on the bike rack, never the bike, until you hear that click. How the bike is held into place, we're going to have 2 points of contact. We'll have the strap at the rear, like we mentioned earlier, and this rear cradle is pivoting back and forth if necessary to accommodate bikes of different sizes, as long as the wheelbase doesn't exceed 48 inches. Up at the front, we're going to have the wheel hook. Now this is particularly nice for platform style racks. Primarily this is what enables it to carry all those wide variety of bikes without having to use a bike adapter bar. A lot of platform styles will have the main mast that comes out here and grips it by your frame. Now when you have alternate frame bikes or kids bikes, you may need to buy that bike adapter bar for that, but for this particular bike rack, that's not going to be the case. It does also come with a cable lock that you see here. It just wraps around the frame of your bike and then attaches to this point at the base. And this is going to be key to like with the hitch lock, which we'll get to a little bit later. So we'll remove that. And let's go ahead and take our bike off. Just wrap it around the frame of the bike rack too so it wasn't dangling. Set this off to the side. We'll start by removing the rear straps. There we go. Then we'll come up to the front wheel hook. When we release this, we want to make sure we're holding on to our bike, because as this is released, we don't want the bike falling into the vehicle. There's a blue trigger on the side here. You push that in and up to release it. To put it in place, you simply push down and it'll ratchet down into place. Once the bike is off, this does fold into a nice configuration here where it's nice and flat. And here you can see that pivoting of that rear cradle. Bring the hook back, push that into place, and this wheel cradle here will fold down as well. And with it folded flat, we can get rear hatch access here as well. Also, removing this end cap here, this does have room for an extension to add an additional bike if you want. That is sold separately, and you can find it on eTrailer.com. So give you a couple quick measurements here. Measuring from the edge of the bumper to our outermost point, we've added 21 inches to the rear of the vehicle. Our ground clearance is going to be about 21.5 inches, and a lot of that's thanks to the raised shank, which is going to make sure you're not going to have an issue of clearance between your bike rack and the ground. And finally, the closest point to the bumper is going to be this edge here, and that's going to be about 9 inches. And then we can fold this up against the vehicle as well for those close quarter situations, such as parking or putting it in your garage. And with that, now we're only at 15 inches. And the closest point is going to be about 3 inches. Our ground clearance at this point is going to be about 10. And how this attaches to the hitch, we're going to have an anti-rattle bolt, which will take out the shake and play in the shank once tightened down, and of course the hitch lock we mentioned earlier. And we have this sheath over our actual shank of our bike rack here, and once that's removed, you can utilize this with 1¼ or 2-inch hitches. So this can work with either multiple vehicles, or if you got a Class 2 hitch for your Subaru XV Crosstrek, it'll work with that as well. And there you have it for the RockyMounts MonoRail Solo bike rack on our 2014 Subaru XV Crosstrek.